You know that feeling.
Yeah.
You're diligently tapping away on your language app, maybe Duolingo, right?
Oh, yeah, getting those streaks up.
Totally.
Yeah.
Racking up points, seeing the cute animations. You feel like you're putting in the work, but then you actually try to speak English.
Yeah.
Like in a real conversation.
Yeah. Crickets.
Exactly. It's like your brain just hits a wall, you're fumbling for basic words, and all that practice feels, well, useless. I think we've all been there, haven't we?
It's a really, really common sticking point. People spend ages on these platforms. They learn words, grammar rules, but it's all kind of disconnected.
Yeah.
They struggle to actually use it when it matters, in a real conversation. It's interesting why that gap exists despite all the effort.
Exactly. And that's really what we want to dig into today, because maybe the answer isn't just more lessons or studying longer.
Right.
What if it's not about more content, but asking, well, the right questions? Imagine using a tool like ChatGPT, something lots of us have access to, but using it in a really focused way to actually finally make real progress with English. We're talking about shifting from just passively taking stuff in to actively guiding your own learning with some smart prompts.
That's a critical point. Maybe the issue isn't the lack of resources, but how we use them. It's like having a huge library. Owning more books doesn't help if you don't know how to find what you need.
Precisely. And what's really cool is that there are these, well, just 8 simple prompts, apparently, that seem to really help learners break through.
8 prompts, okay.
Yeah. So our mission today in this deep dive is to explore these 8 AI prompts.
Yeah.
The ones that could actually change your English learning this year. We're not talking about gamification or busy work.
No noise.
No noise. Just practical ways to get tangible results so you can actually understand and speak English better.
Welcome to Stories to Learn English, the channel where your English gets better every day. Hit subscribe and let's get started.
So let's dive in. The first one. It's about creating a 30-day fluency plan.
Ah, okay. So the prompt itself is something like, create a 30-day English study plan focused on vocabulary, grammar, useful phrases, and conversation practice. Each day should get slightly more challenging.
Yeah, exactly.
What's great about that right off the bat is how it tackles that feeling of being overwhelmed. Learning a language feels huge, like this massive mountain.
Totally.
This prompt basically says, okay, here's a path, broken down into daily manageable steps.
It's like getting a GPS for your language journey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Instead of just wandering around hoping you end up fluent,
Right.
you get a clear route.
Yeah.
And because you ask the AI to tailor it, it can fit, your level, your specific goals. Maybe you need English for work meetings or just chatting, and even how much time you actually have each day. It cuts through that, where do I even start feeling?
And if you think about effective learning principles, that structure is key. It builds momentum.
Yeah.
Seeing daily progress keeps you motivated. Plus, that slightly more challenging bit is important. It keeps you growing without feeling impossible. Consistent, manageable steps.
Okay, good stuff. Let's move to prompt 2. And this one, this hits home for anyone who's learned lists of useless words.
Haha, I know the feeling.
The prompt is, every day, teach me 10 high-frequency English words with definitions, pronunciation, and a simple sentence example. The key there is high frequency.
Yes. Avoid the random animal names or obscure furniture parts.
Exactly. How many times have you learned a word and thought, when will I ever say that?
So focusing on high-frequency words is just efficient. A relatively small number of core words make up a huge chunk of everyday spoken English.
Makes sense.
So learning words like schedule, appointment, update, budget, these are the tools you need now.
Right.
It's the biggest bang for your buck learning-wise.
Absolutely. It's about relevance, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you learn words you actually hear in conversations, emails, the news, things that relate to your life.
They stick.
They stick.
Mhm.
It's totally different from memorizing random lists that feel like trivia. You're building a practical foundation.
And it ties into learning in context. Seeing those words in simple sentences helps you grasp how they actually work in communication, not just their dictionary definition.
Okay, prompt number 3. This one's about sounding, well, less like a textbook and more like a real person.
Yeah, the natural stuff.
Yeah. The prompt, show me 20 slang terms, idioms, or informal phrases. Explain what they mean, when to use them, and who with. This is where you start to, blend in a bit more, right?
Precisely. This gets into the cultural side of language, slang, idioms. They're woven into how native speakers talk. Understanding them is crucial,
Mm-hmm.
both for understanding conversations and just feeling like you belong. Knowing you can say, I'm down, or understanding no biggie, or that hit the books means steady.
Yeah.
It gives you a much richer feel for the language as it's actually spoken.
It really does. It's that haha moment when you finally get a joke that was just flown over your head before,
Yeah.
connecting on a more authentic level.
And it boosts your confidence hugely. Using informal language correctly signals, a higher level of fluency. It's about social fluency, not just grammar.
Okay, switching gears slightly. Prompt 4 uses something most of us enjoy anyway, movies and TV shows.
Turning entertainment into education.
Exactly. The prompt is, I watch show title, say, Friends in English. Give me 10 useful phrases from the episode, with translation, meaning, and how to use them in real life. Who knew binge watching could be productive?
Well, it's clever because it uses context so powerfully. You're not learning phrases in a vacuum. You're linking them to specific characters, specific situations you just saw.
Right?
So asking the AI about friends and getting explanations for how you doing or I'll be there for you,
Yeah,
you remember it because you saw Joey say it or heard the theme song.
totally. You're not just passively watching anymore. You're actively listening, analyzing the language in a context you already get. It makes it way more engaging and memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, once you notice a phrase in a show, you start hearing it everywhere else.
Right. Yeah.
It reinforces itself naturally.
It's a perfect example of turning passive fun into active learning. You take control, connecting what you enjoy to your language goals.
Okay, now for the one that makes people nervous, grammar. Prompt 5 tries to tackle it without the headache.
Ha, the holy grail.
The prompt is, explain basic English grammar in a simple, intuitive way. Start with sentence structure, verbs, and tenses. Keywords, simple, intuitive.
Yeah, because traditional grammar teaching can be so, rule heavy, really theoretical. It puts a lot of people off.
Definitely.
This prompt pushes the AI towards a different approach. Instead of just listing rules, it shows examples, like demonstrating verb tenses with I eat, I am eating, I ate. You see it work.
Right. It's about getting a feel for the grammar, an intuition for how sentences fit together, rather than just memorizing rules.
Mm-hmm.
The goal isn't to become a grammar nerd, just to have a solid enough framework to express yourself clearly and understand others. When it feels intuitive, grammar becomes your ally, not your enemy.
And focusing on those fundamentals, sentence structure, verbs, tenses in an accessible way, builds that strong foundation you need for everything else. You tackle harder stuff later with more confidence.
Okay, prompt 6. This is where the rubber meets the road. Real conversations, real practice.
The speaking part.
Yep, the prompt. Pretend you're a native English speaker. Have a 10-line conversation with me about an interesting topic, then correct my mistakes.
Sounds like a great way to get over the speaking fear.
Absolutely. This hits a core need, practicing speaking without pressure. So many learners worry about making mistakes in front of native speakers.
Yeah, the judgment fear.
Right. Talking
Yeah.
to an AI is a safe space. You can experiment, mess up, get instant feedback, all without feeling judged.
It's like having a language buddy who's always free, super patient, and literally programmed to help you get better. You can try out new words, new grammar, and the AI just gently nudges you. Helps you learn from mistakes supportively. It builds that speaking confidence. And just the act of doing it, even with AI, activates your language skills differently than passive study. You have to think on your feet, respond, apply what you know. It's dynamic.
Okay, next up, prompt 7. This is about making sure things actually stick.
Yeah.
Test what you've learned.
Cute old testing.
The prompt, give me a 5-question quiz about what I studied this week. Show the right answers and explain why. Like a quick progress check.
Regular self-testing is super powerful for learning. It uses active recall, pulling information out of your brain, not just putting it in.
Ah, right.
Asking the AI to quiz you forces you to retrieve what you studied, which really strengthens memory. And getting explanations for the answers reinforces why something is right or wrong.
It's not just about the score then. It's understanding the why. That helps you spot weak areas and make sure your study time is actually paying off.
And it puts you in charge. You're not waiting for a big test. You're constantly checking in, adjusting your focus, taking ownership.
Okay, last one, prompt 8. This focuses on something that really impacts confidence. Train your pronunciation.
Oh, a big one.
Definitely. The prompt, teach me how to pronounce the hardest English sounds. Give me one daily exercise to improve. We all know those tricky English sounds, right?
Oh, yeah. The thrust sound. Words like world or girl. Even something like comfortable can trip people up.
Totally.
This prompt targets those specific hurdles. It gives you clear guidance and a small daily exercise, manageable improvement.
And it's amazing how much more confident you feel when your pronunciation gets better. You're less likely to be misunderstood. Conversations flow better. Just makes speaking feel more solid.
By focusing on specific challenges with actionable daily practice, you gain clarity and precision. It helps others understand you, sure, but it's also a massive boost to your own self-assurance as a speaker.
So there we have it. 8 prompts. Like having these personalized, super patient English tutors available 24/7.
And what makes them work, like we've been saying, is they tap into how language learning actually happens effectively.
Right.
You're actively engaging, seeing language in context, practicing using it, getting feedback. It's all about what experts call comprehensible input, language you can mostly understand, and active recall, pulling out and using what you know.
And the amazing part is how personal it becomes. It's not one size fits all. The AI adapts to your level, your interests, even your mood that day. You're in control.
Yeah, you're in the driver's seat.
It totally changes your relationship with learning English, doesn't it? You're not just depending on the perfect course or teacher anymore.
You're empowered to guide your own journey. You're learning how to learn more effectively.
Absolutely. So here's the call to action for you listening. Right now, seriously, open up ChatGPT or whatever AI you use. Try just one prompt. Keep it simple. Maybe. Teach me 10 useful English words for everyday life with examples and pronunciation. Takes 5 minutes. You'll get vocabulary you can actually use today.
And if you're feeling a bit bolder, try that conversation prompt, prompt 6. It might feel weird talking to an AI at first.
A little bit, yeah.
But that active practice is so crucial for fluency. Don't sweat the mistakes. That's how you learn.
And please, share your experience. Go to the comments. Tell us which prompt you tried, what you learned. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to, get started.
Which brings us to a final thought to leave you with. Now that you know about these incredibly adaptable tools, what parts of the English-speaking world, what conversations, what opportunities are you most excited to finally explore?